And just like that, we're back in the kitchen. I've been in the shed making salves all day, and while they're doing their thing before I package them, label them, and all of that, I realized it was 2:40. I said, oh no, I got to get supper on. We don't eat past 6. So I was like, okay, let me go in there. Then I made some coffee, and I was like, I'll just do a video. I mean, y'all know how I edit, so it's not like I got to spend hours cutting stuff out because I just let it roll. You know, it's like, let it roll. So I'm going to drop the camera, but what we are actually having, because you know, anything I'm cooking for supper, if I think I haven't done a video, and sometimes I've repeated myself, I'll just video it. But today we're going to have sauce piquant, which piquant in French means spicy, okay? The spice level is to your palate. But we're going to do a shrimp and alligator sauce piquant. So in the title, I'm probably going to name it anything sauce piquant. So you can exchange for chicken. You can do slabs of fish. We like chicken and sausage sauce piquant. So you don't have to actually use the meat we're using, but as long as you have the gravy, the substance on point, you're good to go. So we're going to pretend that this alligator, this is about a pound. I cut it up this morning. This is dark and white meat. I pulled all this out of the freezer. We're going to pretend it's chicken. So I know a lot of you may not be able to get alligator, or you may not want alligator. But so we're going to pretend it's chicken, and we're going to get this going. Now, as I go, I have shown y'all how to make roux. You can refer to that, back to that video, or maybe you know how to make roux. So I'll be using roux, some seafood stock out of a jug because I don't have any shelled shrimp available. I have shelled, deveined shrimp. But we'll get into all of that. Move that pot over. I was getting it too hot. So pretend like we're working with chicken, and you don't even have to add the shrimp. That's why it's a anything sauce piquant. All right, let's rock this out. Oh, that stove's a little hot right there. And while it's simmering, I got to go back out there and work. So, all right, you're going down. Now I'm going to put about a tablespoon of butter. I'm just going to kind of, that looks good. Just kind of lightly coat the bottom with some olive oil. Get this butter melted. I am sitting on about a number 4. I do want to crank it up to a 6. Because we're not going to cook this gator all the way. We just want to get some brown bits on it. Because gator is real tough. So it's going to actually have to sit in the stew that we're going to make, the base of it. I just drained it. And in goes the alligator. I will be seasoning with my swamp mix. This is my Cajun seasoning. A little black pepper. A little bit of garlic. And this is all to taste, guys. And we will be repeating these seasonings throughout. And some salt. Looks like a lot, but when you see what all's going in this pot, it's not a lot. All right, we're going to get some good marks on this. My bowl is clean to put our gator meat back in. Now, while this is browning, we had a little tragedy yesterday evening. Y'all remember it was yesterday that I did the sauerkraut. And we've been watching this water oak tree in the back. You know how we extended the chicken run and it goes to, I would say, almost 1/4 of an acre in the back? Well, when I got through with the sauerkraut, I went out and I took the trimmings of the cabbage. And I always give them their treats, we call it, as they come out of the run. You know, they have the coop, the 20-foot run, and then they can go do a roundabout to get to the large yard. Well, I always give it to them there. I noticed they had some of those Thai chili peppers still left. And I said, you know what? They're already back there. They're scratching, having a ball. They saw me. I said, come on, girls. Let's, here, I'll move this out the way. I said, y'all come over here and eat your snacks. So I dumped it. I come on back. And within about 30 minutes, I had walked out to the shed. And I always do a look. My head is always on a swivel. And I saw a enormous limb. It was it was huge. And if y'all know anything about water oaks, this one is 75 feet tall. We knew that it was dying from last summer's drought. And we were trying to figure out how we're going to, because it didn't look like it was shedding anything. So no roots was coming up. We thought, okay, we've got a couple of months to try and figure out, climb up, delimb, take it down. Well, that got moved up because when I looked out there and I saw this, and then I saw just scattered, it's like we had a little bit of wind and it just laid over a bunch of limbs. And I immediately ran out there because my gut. And I lost 2 of my girls. The other ones were obviously petrified because they had come back around and ran into their coop. It didn't sit right with me because I know accidents can happen. But, you know, I gave them their snack in an area I normally don't give it to them at, you know. But I was like, I don't want them to run all the way, which they would have. I was like, you know, I'm going to give it to them right there. They're having fun. It's going to take me a while to process that because, you know, we can beat ourselves up, you know, shoulda, coulda, woulda, but we didn't. And that's what was playing in my head. And Buddy got home and he took care of it. And then our good friend, Mr. Craig, y'all heard him talk or seen him in video. He always comes and visits. And Buddy and I were telling him about what happened. And he said, well, you know, Frank's another friend of ours. He just had a pine tree, a big one, that was dead, but it was about to go down on someone else's property. So Buddy reached out to Mr. Frank. Mr. Frank gave us the tree man. Buddy talked to the tree man, Mr. John, and he said, Buddy, I'll just come out in the morning. So Mr. John came this morning and met with me. He wouldn't even let me go under the tree. So needless to say, our chickens are not loose. He's going to come next Thursday, and they'll have to delimb this whole thing. But he's going to try to get off to be here. And he's going to lay it, but we've got to move a lot of stuff. He's going to try to lay it between the chicken coop and the fruit greenhouse, you know, where I've got my seed starts. But it's 75 feet tall. So it's going to be very, very interesting. I'll get Mr. John's permission and see if we can maybe film it. Or maybe just film above and not with them because I'm sure he has workers. So I've been very busy this morning. When something like that happens, I tend to even get more busy. So I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and go out there, make some salve, which I needed to anyway to stock. I did a lot of cleaning. Well, I cleaned yesterday, but I did a lot of cleaning yesterday out there. And I did it again today, just trying to, you know, get my mind right. And all I'm doing is pulling the alligator meat out. So anyway, I looked at the clock. I had made some coffee a little early. It's 2:49. And I just made the cup before I turned the camera on. And I said, okay, let me get my supper going, and then I'll go out there and put the seal and everything on my stuff. And that's when I said, you know what? What I really need is my friends. Look, guys. There it is. That's the gator meat. So, I told Bud, I said, well, hey, we got to put the tractor off a few more months. Y'all, we've been saving for that tractor for 2 years. But the tree has to take precedence. I mean, you know, that's just the way that it is. But yeah, I know I've said shoulda, coulda, woulda a million times in my head. I never would have, it never dawned on me. So, yeah, I've kind of been in a funk, you know, but life goes on. And it also taught us a lesson that we might have, should have tended it sooner, but really and truly, it had no signs. We knew it was dying, or Buddy did, but had no clue it was going to just crumble at one time. We didn't know that, but it's a water oak. And according to the tree man, that's very normal. So, but while this is stewing, I may take you out there and show you what it looks like, you know. But anyhow, let's get this going because time ain't on my side. Probably, that's a good 2 tablespoons. Now you see all this. That's goodness down there. Now that's better. I've got a cup of mixed colored bells. You can do green. You can do whatever as long as it's a cup. I've got a cup of diced sweet onion, and I have a half a cup of diced celery, known as the Trinity. Remember, I said we were going to season as I go. Well, I'm actually going to add my full throttle, which is basically dehydrated Trinity with some other flavors. Very, very light in salt. I'm talking about very light, but just enough to go ahead and sweat these out. We're going to get these sweat down. Get the bottom, the gratin, cleaned up. And we're getting ready to make that delicious sauce piquant. It would help if I turned it up, y'all. I was down to number 2. I'm still learning these knobs on this stove. I want to go to about a number 4. See how it's already, look, see how it's cleaning it up? And that's what you want. All right, this is going to take a good 10 minutes because I want them extremely soft. It could even go 15, so I won't bore you. But I'll get these all softened, and I will not be adding nothing else, so you won't miss nothing. But look at this. See how it's cleaning up? And the more they sweat, the cleaner the bottom gets. It was 10 minutes for me, and it was just a click of a button for y'all. Okay, let me make my well. Y'all seen me do this before. 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. That's not going to get it out. That'll get it out. There we go. We just want it to get extremely hot. It'll cook down. The natural sweetness will come out. And I'm on a number 4. Perfect. Now, while it's doing its thing, I'm going to add some roux. Now, if you were to have to make your roux from the start, I would advise making your roux first, putting your Trinity in, cooking it all down. But guys, you know I love to make my roux, so it's very handy. And I will link the video to my oven roux. Now you see, when I pull it, I leave the oil in it. And there it, oops, there is the roux. Let's get back to our tomato paste. Oh yeah. There we go. Oh, I can smell that. Sweet kind of. Okay, now we got to go in with our roux. And I'm slinging it everywhere. I won't be putting too much. A few tablespoons. Tell you what, I don't want to dirty that. You can tell Lippy was off today. I am not prepared. There we go. Let's see what 3 will do. 3 heapings, basically. Now, you can make your roux any color you want. I tend to lean on the side of a dark roux, and I just use less amount. Now, this isn't even a teaspoon, but I wanted to finish off that second tablespoon because it really wasn't a true tablespoon. There we go. We're going to get this cooked in. Oh, the smell. Guys, if you've never had sauce piquant, make it. Just use chicken and sausage or just chicken. It is fine. And since my roux's cooked, I don't need to cook it any longer. Now this is going to throw you. I will try to link it. You remember the tomato soup that I made last year in the summer with my tomatoes? Guys, this tomato soup is so good. I've been cooking with it. And I'm going to add about a half a cup. That is it. And I'll put the rest in the refrigerator, and that'll be my lunch tomorrow. Now, you would be adding about a half a cup of crushed tomatoes, diced tomatoes, your choice. But I'm telling you what, this tomato soup, because remember, I didn't add cream before I froze it. The flavor is amazing. Now, I'm coming in with seafood stock, but you can use chicken stock. And this is going to be a whole carton, guys. Now, it's all about bringing it up to temp because we've got some more things to add and scraping that bottom. Now, I'm going to add about a cup of water. I'm going to add a couple of dashes of Worcestershire. About like that. It's not necessary. It's not required. But if you happen to have the concentrated liquid crab oil, now it's potent. It sends it over the top if you were doing seafood. And I want to show you how much. That's it. Now, this is not required, but I have a few cans. And to bring that shrimp flavor, because that's what I'm wanting, I will add a can of cream of shrimp. But if you don't want to use it, you don't have to. It does not alter not using it as far as just getting to the traditional sauce piquant. But I have a tendency to dump the kitchen sink sometimes when I'm just in the mood just to cook, and I throw the kitchen sink in here. I love this cream of shrimp. I absolutely do. It's pretty much a staple in my household. And to make it homemade, I cannot get it to this flavor. So, you know, like I said, if you're not comfortable because of some of the ingredients in here, don't put it in. But if you're comfortable and you can get your hands on it making a seafood sauce piquant, let me tell you what, it's heaven. I'm going to add some more swamp mix. Now, if you were just, say, doing chicken, you could exchange the swamp mix for the clucking good. I want to get that soup dissolved. Bring it up to a boil. I'm going to go ahead and add our alligator back in. I did add a little bit of water to get them flavors out of the bowl. And as soon as it comes up to boil, we're going to put the lid on, turn the fire down, and we're going to let this simmer an hour and a half. We're at 312. So that puts me at 445. And then the shrimp will go in. And you know, shrimp doesn't take long. and I'll be adding about 2 pounds of shrimp. And until it goes down, I'm going to vent the lid for a few minutes so it doesn't crest over. You see, it'll crest over. So once it gets down to simmer, then I will put the lid on tight. You see how it's just simmering now? We've come down to the number 2 temp. Now I'll stir it here, there, and yonder. That's better. I'm going to stir it, you know, here, there, and yonder, but it's literally going to cook an hour and a half. So I timed it just right. And instead of potato salad on the side, now of course we do have rice, that's a given. I made deviled eggs. So that is our supper. But I'll bring you back when we get those shrimp in there, and we will be plating up. You know, we got to have quality control. So I think I'm going to go out to the shop and finish working for the day. I'm doing pretty good. So it's 3:20. So I should be completely done, work and supper, by 5-ish. Not too bad. The magic of time. So I was close enough to 5. I said 4:45. I'm putting in my 2 pounds of shrimp. Perfect. And I'm going to let them cook 15 to 20 minutes. And then I'm just going to turn the heat off the stove and then let it sit another 15 minutes. And we'll be ready to plate up, y'all. Now, friends, this is that water oak. I'll try to go down slowly. And that's what he's got to cut off. But we've got a lot of stuff that's sitting under it in that little lean-to right there that we didn't have infrastructure to house some of his boat stuff. So we're gonna have to empty that out. But there's the tree. Look at that goodness. If it tastes as good as it smells. Oh my. And like I said, that tomato soup that I made, because I didn't add the cream, I didn't add a lot of spices to it. There's something about that tomato soup, guys, that I'm going to make again, only I'm going to actually can it. Probably leave out the sugar, add that to whatever dish I'm making. But the other flavors is phenomenal. I'm telling you, that has been my go-to for my tomato base. And it's thin, which I like, especially in something like this. But it smells heavenly. And I know it's going to burn my mouth. And on my deviled eggs, if you saw something dark on them, I sprinkled a little bit of clucking good on top. This is going to be hot. I got to fix Bud's plate here in a minute. He's out there talking to Mr. Craig. He just pulled in. Here we go. If you don't make a pot of sauce pecan, you're going to regret it. Seriously. Now, like I said, you can make it chicken and shrimp, chicken and sausage. But I want to get a piece of this alligator. This is the white meat. It melts like butter. And no, guys, I'm not one of them people that's going to tell you it tastes like chicken. It does not taste like chicken. It tastes like alligator, okay? I know that that's something that everybody says, oh, it tastes like chicken. No, it has no chicken taste. It has alligator taste. And if you never had alligator, I would say cross between fish and little crab. Crab's kind of sweet, but it has that backness. If you would just pick one, I'd say tastes like fish. Like a catfish, okay? Not a perch or, you know, some call them socolays, not a bass. It almost has a channel cat, blue cat taste. Not a mud cat. I don't eat mud cat. But that's what it tastes like. So if you're not sure and you can get your hands on alligator, if you don't like fish, you're not going to like alligator. Now, you may like it fried because I would have taken those nuggets, as we call them, and I would have mixed it with my Fish Magic, which is nothing more than a mustard seasoned powder base, and you mix it equal parts with water, and it turns into a mustard consistency. I would have soaked my gator meat overnight, 24 hours, and then proceeded to fry from there. Then it's going to take on a totally different flavor. Still tastes seafoody some, but a totally different flavor than what it has right now. Right now it's fish. So if you don't like fish, you're not going to like alligator. Y'all know I'm just going to be honest. So, excuse me, I'm going to take my plate. I'm going to fix Bud's bowl. His is going to be heaping. And thank you for spending the day with me. It did good for me. Now, I know that sounds a little funny because we wasn't alive, but just knowing that I had you on the other side helped me make it through the rest of the day. And for that, I greatly appreciate it. So, make you some sauce piquant. It is out of this world. So as always, stay safe, stay well, and God bless. See you on the next one.